Live. Okay, so today's date, 2/28/2020. Leap year tomorrow. Leap year tomorrow. So here's our objective. We're going to be factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient. Okay, we're going to be factoring trinomials with a leading coefficient. So a leading coefficient is the number in front. So ax squared plus bx plus c. If there's a number here, if there's a number there, then our old rule doesn't work. Okay, our rule of the multiples of 5 aren't going to make an 11, right? Okay, so we're going to use our double smiley to get it. Okay. So the multiples of 5 won't make an 11, right? Or the multiples of 1 are not going to make a 4. Or the multiples of 3 are not going to make a -1. Or the multiples of 16 are not going to make a 22. But with the help of the double smiley, you can make the middle term. So the trick is we're going to use the double smiley. I like to call it the double smiley to make middle term. Okay, so let's start. Right off the bat, same thing, parentheses, 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 okay? And then start with the 2x squared. That's easy. How do you make a 2x squared? 2x and x. Everybody agree with that? So start there, 2x and x, okay? Now, I'm going to do it wrong first so you can see it. I mean, I know how to do this one, but I'm going to do it wrong on purpose. So think about this. The multiples of 5 are 5 and 1, right? Or, I'm going to say it again, or 1 and 5. It's important I say both. Okay? Girls, you with me? I know you are. I know you are. So the multiples of 5 are 5 and 1, or 1 and 5. So I'm going to do it wrong at first so you can see it. So I'm going to go 5 and 1. And I'm using pencil because I'm going to erase because I did do it wrong. How do I know I'm wrong? Well, I checked my double smiley. So if I check my double smiley, right? And like I said, some kids see it right off the bat. In Austin, you just see it. You don't need to do the, you can go right to it. Some kids will be able to see it. So why is it wrong? 2x, 5x doesn't make an 11. You guys see that? I've got a 2x and a 5x does not make an 11, right? So the only option we have is to try it again. So instead of 5 and 1, let's do a 1 and a 5. How's that going to change it? It's not the same. You would think it would be the same, wouldn't you? But it turns out with the double smiley, I get a 1x and a 10x, which will make an 11, right? So I've got the combination correct. I know I need a positive 1 and I need a positive 5, okay? Okay, again, I'm going to repeat something I told you a couple of days ago. If this sign is plus, then they'll both be plus. If the sign is plus, they'll both be whatever this sign is, okay? Does that help? All right, now let's look at number 2. So example number 2, we've got the same thing going on. So what I'm going to do is start off with my parentheses, parentheses, okay? Parentheses, 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 3x, x, right? Okay, now this one's not too bad because what times what makes 1? What times what makes 1? Now this one's easy because you're going to go 1 and 1. And if you flip it, what do you get? 1 and 1. Now where's the -4 come from?
-1.
Exactly, and -1 also. We know -1 times -1 makes positive 1. But now where's the 4? Well, that's where you check with your double smiley. So if you do your double smiley, right? Here's your -1x. Here's a -3x, and that does make my -4x. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Okay. Who's here? Anybody here? Okay, here. Are you here? Okay, here's okay. Anybody here? All right, this is good. Let's keep moving on, okay? Okay, number 3. Let me put a 1 here just because it's going to help. That's an invisible one. You guys agree? So let's go parentheses, 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 right? So how am I going to make a 2x squared? How am I going to make a 2x squared? Go ahead and say it, Carly, please. 2x times x. How am I going to make a 3? What times what makes 3? What times what makes a 3? What times what makes 3? 3 and 1, right? 3 and 1. Now I'm wrong. It's really 1 and 3. How do I know I'm wrong? Oh, I might be okay. Actually, I might be right. I think I'm right because if this were a negative 3 and that were a positive 1, actually I think I did it right. So if I check it, why am I saying that? Well, if I do my double smiley, this is a negative 3x, positive 2x, which makes the negative 1. Okay. All right, now, number 4 is a little bit harder because 16, there's lots of combinations to make 16, right? 4 and 4, 2 and 8, right? 16 and 1, right? So let's at least start off with what we know. 3x, x, right? You guys agree with that? Now, what times what makes 16? I'm using my pencil.
Times 2.
Can you want to try 2 and 8?
Or negative 2 and negative 8.
Okay, negative 2, negative 8. One's got to be positive, one's got to be negative. If I put the 8 here and the 2 here, I think it's going to work. Okay? Andrea, you need to sit closer, girl. Okay, you ready? All right. So I put the 8 here and the 2 here. Why? I think I got it. I think I got it.
It has to be minus 2 plus 8.
Yeah. 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 Let's check it. You're totally right, but let's prove that Dallin is right. So I'm going to do my double smiley, right? And I'm going to get a negative 2x. I'm going to get a positive 24x. And I think, bam, she got it right. Nice job, Dallin.
Wait,
Thank you.
that's not. That's 24. Oh.
These are hard, aren't they? These are like little puzzles, okay? Nice job, Dallin. Okay, you guys ready to turn the page?
Okay.
Now, write yourself a note. Way up here, okay? Write yourself a note. Always, always write yourself a note. Always write this on your paper. Austin, write this on your paper. Always. Common factor first if you can. If you can common factor, you'll make the problem easier. If you can common factor, you make the problem easier, okay? So if you notice that you can take out something out of all 3 terms first, it makes it a lot easier. Okay, what do you notice? Is there anything I can take out of, what do they have in common?
6.
So if I take out a 6 first, I'll have an x squared minus a 2x minus 3. Okay, you guys agree with that? Now it becomes easier. So now it becomes a trinomial like we did yesterday. Multiples 3 to make 2. Do you see how I made it easier? I've got a regular old x squared. That's what we did yesterday, right? So once you common factor, the problem becomes significantly easier.
Wait, Mr. Davey,
Yeah.
I did 6x minus 6 and then x plus 3.
Yes, and I'm gonna I'm gonna borrow that and show them what you did. Okay. So if I take this 6 and I'm gonna have then parentheses 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 x minus 3 x plus 1. Everybody okay with that? Okay. Now I'm gonna borrow Alex's because Alex is right. So here's the thing. Okay. If I take a look, Alex did it this way, and his answer is not wrong. Okay. However, I see something here that could have been done. Alex also could have taken out a 6, and we're going to get the same answer, aren't we? So let me take Alex's answer. So,
Wait,
Anthony, you probably have this answer, right?
are the symbols right?
Wait.
I think so. He's got a 6 and negative 18. I think he's right. I think he's right. So this is good, but that was harder to do, wasn't it? So one thing Alex can see, well, wait a minute, Mr. Davies, I can take out a 6 here. So if you take out a 6 out of that one, we're going to get the same answer, right? See it? Okay, get the same answer. I think it's easier to common factor first. If you common factor first, then I believe it's easier. However, if you don't common factor first, you can do it. It can be done, okay? Nice job. Okay? Guys see what he did? So he didn't common factor first, but he was still able to factor it. It's just a little bit harder, okay? You'll see the same thing on this one, okay? Okay, now, example 6. What do you see? Example 6, what do you see? 5. Good. Always common factor first if you can. So I'm going to common factor first. So I'm going to take out a 5 out of everything, right? So if you take a 5 out of everything, I'll have an x squared minus a 3x minus 10, okay? Now if I'm solving for x, how many answers am I going to have? I'll say it again. If I'm solving for x, how many answers am I going to have? 2. Okay? If I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to have 2 answers. The only way I'm going to get 2 answers is with 2 equations, right? So if I factor, okay, what times what makes 10? 2 and 5. Have an x minus 5, x plus 2, okay? Okay? How am I doing? Now remember this always. Everybody listen, I got to shout. Remember this. You're solving for x. There's an x here, an x here. There's 5. Ignore it. Ignore it. It doesn't have an x. You could divide by 5, and get rid of it if you really don't like it, right? If you divide by 5, it's gone, right? But your 2 equations are this. X minus 5 equals 0, and x plus 2 equals 0. Plus 5, x equals 5, minus 2, x equals negative 2. What do you think about that? Okay. All right, we got lots of time left in